Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Let's go to our bad, Eric. Why don't you give me your bad for week 12?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Hmm.
So you go up 21-0 on a division rival, and I didn't get to watch a ton of the game. I seen snippets here and there. But to be up 21-0 and then not score from there, to lose 24-21 against what many people would say is an inferior team. The Giants offense, I mean not the Giants, sorry, the Cowboys offense has been really good this year, so it's not a surprise that they can catch up. But I always feel like, and I feel like the Eagles do this a lot this year, is they get ahead and then they want to coast to the finish line.
Yep.
Um, and then all of a sudden the teams get back into it, and all of a sudden like, oh, we have to score now because the next score wins the game. And yeah, they couldn't run it with Saquon. Saquon was in this week, right? I mean, he wasn't the leading rusher for the Eagles, so that was Hurts.
Hmm.
Um, but they couldn't run the ball well, and I understand that's partially how they couldn't waste the time. But it's like I feel like their offense takes a foot on the gas. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that you see it in different games where they will play a half and not the whole game. So just to your point, Saquon had 22 yards off of 10 carries. So that I don't know. And it's funny because the Cowboys defense is not great. Like I know they made trades, but they still aren't a great defense. So I just don't know. They put up, like you said, that 21 points in the first half, second half didn't show up. We've seen them do that like the opposite way too, where the one that comes to mind is the Rams game, right? Where they got up big and I think the Rams almost came back to win, or vice versa, where the Rams got up the big and the Eagles came back and won. I think that's the way it was actually. But it's just like I don't know. There's with this team, there's just not a lot of consistency, and they shouldn't have, like you said, they shouldn't have lost this game against a division rival.
Yeah, and there's really no excuses. They have good offensive line. They have great running back. They have great receivers, and Jalen Hurts might not be the world's best thrower of the football, but he's still a really darn good quarterback. And their defense is good. It's like you shouldn't lose to a team that isn't going to most likely make the playoffs.
Right. I agree. I agree. My bad. I might as well just keep in the theme still player. I'm just gonna say JJ McCarthy.
Oh gosh.
How much, let me ask you a question, Eric. How much buyer's remorse does the Vikings have for not buying Sam Darnold at this point?
Yeah, I would imagine pretty heavy. I mean, I'm still to this day now. No one expected this per se. I don't think it's this bad, anyways. But they there was no reason not to re-sign Darnold for a couple years and even let McCarthy develop.
Or
Like he's on a rookie contract.
or even just like franchise Darnold. 1 year,
Yeah,
just a franchise tag. Because like this team is ready to win. Their roster is good enough, and it's just like now you wasted a year with Justin Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones is going to get older next year. The defense, you're going to have to start paying people, right?
yeah.
I just think if you went into the season or had a segment on a show, which I might do, like, what do you regret? I think I would, if I were the Vikings, I regret not keeping Sam Darnold. Just to go on this week, Sam Darnold was pretty bad. He didn't pass over 100 yards in a game that they trailed most of the way, or yeah, so most of the way they trailed. He didn't have over 100 yards passing. He had two interceptions. He was sacked 5 times. He had a QBR of 17.9. And there was a couple of throws that you were just off. It just looked really bad. And so he gets my bad. And unfortunately, I think the Vikings are now in a tough spot moving forward.
Well, the Vikings ain't. They're not going to make the playoffs at this rate. Their team is built for a win now, except the quarterback, and
Yeah.
that's a very key piece. And it's like last year you were. What I don't get and is they were 15-2 last year. Okay, I get it. You spent the first round pick in McCarthy, but the whole goal is to find a franchise QB. Why not just take a shot at Darnold, see if he plays that well? Look at how, I mean, he's playing amazing in Seattle.
Yeah, he's playing really good.
I think he had one bad game this year that I can think of, and that was last week. But it's like, what do you? Your goal is to find a franchise QB. Yes, you spent a first round pick on JJ McCarthy, but Darnold isn't that old. You could have franchise tagged him. He would have put up probably really big numbers again, and then all of a sudden be like, "Hey, I got my franchise QB." Maybe you trade JJ McCarthy then. And yeah, you won't get a first round pick for him, but you know what? You got your franchise QB. Who cares anymore?
Yeah,
Like,
I think
and you're in a super tough division.
right. Yeah, and I think like part of the problem is McCarthy was injured last year. So like I guess my thought is like how did they evaluate him that enough where they would be confident enough to let Darnold go? I just don't see that. The only thing I could see in that the owner or the GM's like, no, we spent a first round pick, so we're not spending money on Darnold, which stinks for O is it Stefanski or O'Connell? Kevin, like one of the
O'Connell.
Kevins. Okay, yeah, O'Connell.
O'Connell.
So it stinks for him because I think again this team is good enough to be in the playoff hunt, and I don't think they're in there right now, and it's because McCarthy and the performance he put on display on Sunday was pretty pathetic. So
Yeah, I have a friend who's a Viking fan, and I said whoever made that decision needs to be blacklisted by the NFL. Like it had nothing. You go from 15-2. Like the record is 15-2. You were fighting the Lions for the first seed in the NFC last year. To there's a chance you're drafting top 10 next year.
yeah,
Like, and the biggest difference on your team is you went with JJ McCarthy over Sam Darnold.
correct. Yeah, this might be like a Josh Rosen situation where they draft a quarterback in the first round next year and let him go for like a third round pick, McCarthy, to somewhere else. There's potential for that. Okay, let's go to our ugly. Eric, give me your ugly. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.